All right, welcome back, guys. So today we're getting into uprightness in postures.
The context of maintaining an upright posture through bai hui, this idea of ding, right? So ding means like basically the idea of the top part of something is upright, and then you have, so like you can have like the top of a mountain or the top of a roof or something like that, but this is the idea of a ding. But the other idea too is oftentimes the idea of a nail being straight up and down and then a flat part. So this is the idea of this here. So we want this uprightness. It allows for us to move our legs while we can turn the top of our body as a cylinder. And a lot of times, a lot of the errors that come in traditional Chinese Kung Fu and even Shibafa and things like that are because when the body is supposed to be upright, because it's not always supposed to be upright, but when it is supposed to be upright, it's not. We have leaning, things where the posture is off. And so we want to kind of basically go over the most common postures where we see, those problems.
So these 4 exercises today that we're going to take the hands out of, as in my years of teaching like Shibafa, are by far the most common where people have problems with. It's actually amazing how many people have problems with it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to take the hands out of it, and we're going to just really work on that uprightness and that ding talk.
All right. So, all right, let's get into it.
Get into it.
All right. So the most common leaning forward and not keeping upright when you're supposed to postures in Shibafa are by and far the Gongbu postures.
Gongbu postures.
When you do thread palms in Gongbu, when people are here and they do this and they come out, they're always doing this.
Yes.
And they're leaning with their palm. They're not staying upright, right?
Exactly.
And so we're going to go over that today, but without the arms. Just focus on staying upright. And so we're going to go over these postures. And then the walking postures are the second most common.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over some of those as well.
As in, people come here, and when they come back, they go here. Yeah. Okay. And also with the other one of the Gongfu postures that Mark was saying is when we come here, and they kind of follow the arm around like this.
They do that Yichuan kind of ding, that Yichuan like ding sure fixed posture. And for their purposes, they lean forward. For our purposes here in Shibafa, we're not leaning forward. So, all right, let's start with the Gongbu thread palm.
All right. So you guys know it, but we're just going to take the arms out, and we're going to make sure we get it perfect. All right. So, turn to the left, and come forward. Keep the chin tucked, chest out proud, pushing through the back leg, 70-30 stance. Hold it. Pull the elbows back. My teacher always used to say, chest out proud. Switch. Sit into the stance. Make sure his chin is tucked, slightly tucked. Elbows pulling back. Pushing through the back foot, 70-30 stance. Back is straight. Now, if Marcus does a couple of those, you just point out a couple of things in the stance here. So you notice when Mark comes down and sinks into it, okay, he has this really nice straight back with the arch through the leg, through the buttocks, down past the knee, through the ankle, foot into the ground. You notice how, when we come here, he has what I was just talking about before, that really proud chest. So almost it's very mantis-like. Yeah. As he switches out, does it on the other side. Comes down, heel to toe, pushing through. Notice that his chin is slightly tucked. Elbows are pulling back. Okay. And you can see that it's an attentive, correct, upright stance. So that's what you want. Okay. Okay, so next movement is the 4th movement from the 2nd set. Okay, so it's basically very similar to what we just did, except now we're going to put the twist on it, put the turn on it.
This is really important because, like we mentioned before, you're going to have these complex movements when you add twisting and rotating into things, right? So the rotation is going to add this ringing, it's going to add wrapping, it's going to add twisting. All of these are adjectives that kind of all describe the motion of rotation, but they all are slightly different, but all share that rotational aspect. So make sure that when you're doing this, you've done all this other rotation stuff. You don't have to make that obviously what you're focused on, but still try to maintain as much of that of what you've been training these past weeks as you make sure that you maintain and focus specifically in this exercise the idea of zheng qi, or the upright body. Right?
Upright rear body, yep, zheng qi. All right, so, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, in, 4 bu, 5 bu. Breathe in, breathe out. Settle. Make sure the back's straight, chest is out, nice and proud, elbows pull back. Now we're going to shift that center to the left. And try and connect. Trying to connect the center of the dantian with the back foot pushing through. And out. 4, 5. In. Out. Standing proud. Attentive. Twist, pushing from the back leg. Twist, twist, twist. And out. Hold. 5. In. Out. If you want to take an extra breath, no problem. You can breathe in. Sink into the stance. Breathe out. Now start to turn the navel. Remember to keep the chin tucked. Out. Do one more. 4, 5. In. Out. Only move when you feel comfortable with the stance. Now turn in. Chin down. Elbows pulled back. And out. So you'll really feel like what we've been talking about in the past few lessons. You'll really feel that going right through the feet, coming through and wrapping through the core.
You'll get a more clarity of wrapping if you make sure you're upright.
Upright.
So yes, there's an idea of, eventually there's the idea of stretching and bending forwards with these things. But for right now, in order to understand the basics, you need that concept of zheng qi, right? Or what Simon calls sometimes ding toe, right? Like you have this pressing up, stability of your center, and the idea of the upright posture through the spine and everything. So really important.
Very, very important. Okay, guys. All right, next one. All right, so moving on to the next movement that we're going to do is the 11th from the third set. So from here to there. But we're going to take the arms out, like we're talking about. And remember, on this one, don't forget that on this particular movement, the rear leg, the toe isn't straight. So if I'm starting back here, going to the left, and my right leg is going to be the back leg. Okay, remember that heel picks up and turns towards 11 o'clock. So it's not dead straight. All right? So let's get into it. So start off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here. Right. Right foot turns in. Left heel comes up. Now we go in. We already talked about all this. Out. Push. Now here, pull the toes back. Sit down on the back leg and keep your chin tucked and make sure you're straight, no leaning. Now push off the back leg, slowly from heel to toe. Complete the stance. Push off the front leg. So you notice that the core is not moving at all. All you're doing is pushing off the back leg, sinking deep into the stance, and pushing off the front leg, sinking into the stance. Maintaining that jung ti. And out. Now we can change. Come around. Opposite way. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. And out. Swing out. And up. So you notice that the legs are just doing all the work and you're just staying upright the whole time.
It's where the core of this movement actually comes from, right? The arms are just stretching and they're helping to, you're learning to take that motion and transfer through the arms, but it actually is all feet, all legs, you know, as far as the generation of power goes.
Now, a good thing to do there is like we're on gravel today, so sometimes when you're doing this, your legs start slipping. So if you are on something that is slippery, it is fine. So if I was doing it this way and going this way and say it, they've gone out too far. I've gone here and I'm like, oh, it's too far. It is okay to maintain that straightness and pull it back a bit. That's fine to do. That's a good
thing to
practice as
do,
well.
so you don't strain yourself and so you don't like get yourself to a point where you're not upright anymore.
All right, so the last movement we're doing now, this section, this lesson today is we're going to do the last movement from the first set. Okay, so usually you walk through, you step through, and then you come back, and then you step back, and you get walk forward. You know how it goes. But we're just going to do the forward and back movement of it, and we're just going to do it like a little bit slower. We're just going to go up and hold the end of going forward, back, and hold the end of like going back, and just drill that back and forward. So it's really simple, but you know it's not so much this way. People tend to be fine, but a lot of times when people go here, they start to get this lean, which is not what you want. Yeah,
A lot of it is due to both weakness and inflexibility in muscles in and around the hips that feed into the legs and the low back.
So always like you can always like go for the structural integrity. Like don't try and just go lower than what you actually can and stuff like that. The structural integrity and the alignment from the toes, like right the way up to the tip of the head, is the most important thing. So. All right, so let's do this. Very, very simple. All right, so we put our hands on the hip and in, chin down, chest out, proud. Now remember that you are rising a little bit, but you're not popping up like this. Okay, it's more of a pushing forward motion. Then out, sinking, pulling the toes back. Pull from the heel like you want to pull the heel back, but you're not going to. And out. In. And out. Once again, let the legs do the work. In. And out. In. and out. Push off the front leg, back, pulling your toes back, sinking, in, and out. In, and out. Legs working, body stays upright. In, and out. In, and out. Pushing off the front leg, sinking back, keep the body straight, pull the toes back, in, out. In, and out. And up.
You might find that you have issues with the hips. Particularly one might be sitting down more than the other. You might have difference in tightness. So this will help to kind of evaluate that, and you can stretch that out. Because one of the things is when you're pulling back, like Simon said, you don't want to be like this. You want to be here.
Want to be straight.
Right? And you don't want it to, when you're sitting here, a lot of times you can feel the longer you sit here, oh, my hips are pulled this way or that way because they're tight, or one's up or one's slightly higher than the other, this and that. You want to try to feel that and get them even as you're doing this, and the hips aren't sideways, they're pulling back evenly as you're doing that.
And the good thing about this as well, like doing it without all the skipping, is it makes it kind of leg heavy. Which you might have noticed when you're doing it, it gets very leg heavy, which is good because it's leg heavy, but the upper feels lighter.
Yeah.
And it actually becomes easier to maintain that straightness, And so
really, really good. And this is more, I know that the idea upright posture seems a little slower compared to the classes we've been doing lately, but it's really important because even when you're twisting around the tree, you're doing these things. The upper posture for the beginning is upright as you're learning these techniques. And only after you've mastered that twisting upright, then you can start to
put angles
move and put angles and everything. But until you master that uprightness, you should avoid that. And that's why we do this now, is because after this, now we're going to go into, in the next class, is the idea of bending. And so that's why you want to really focus on upright first, so that you know that you're upright. And then when you bend, you have sort of this feeling of, oh, where you're going better, rather than thinking you're upright and you're not, you're just really bending.
Exactly.
All right. See you guys next week.
Next week.
Bye.